Hey everyone, in this video we'll be taking a look at some travel accessories for your ASUS ROG Ally, Steam Deck, or other favorite handheld. I took a short one-night trip to Edmonton, and this was my first time flying since getting into handhelds and since starting this YouTube channel. I can honestly say, as long as you are equipped for the length of your flight, having a handheld with you can make the time absolutely fly by. Pun fully intended. I was always going to do this video as I do travel at least once a year. However, in the beginning and middle of COVID, I was flying at least every 3 months. Now, during my time of flying, I quickly learned all the ins and outs of the airport and travel by air. Now, some pro tips: if you are traveling alone, try to look as shifty as possible. Don't look like the next shoe bomber, but look a little uneasy or unsure of things. And if you get pulled out of the line or randomly selected, then they'll just basically take you out, do a little bit of extra security check, and then pull you right through the front of the line. They also got me through security like 5 minutes flat. During COVID, you didn't need to bother doing this as there was no lines, but now the lines can be pretty insane at times. On a more practical note, if you can, I would say the musts for air travel are noise-canceling headphones of some fashion, a phone or tablet to watch your own movies or shows, a battery bank, as well as a 3.5mm headphone cord or auxiliary cord if you're using wireless noise-canceling headphones that support a 3.5mm jack. These are my absolute bare minimum tech items I would need in my immediate reach on a plane. But adding a handheld into the mix completely changed up my game. Pun intended, I guess. I went on this trip completely focused on using my handheld most or all of the time on the plane, and as such, I needed a case. Currently, I'm working on a Temu type related video. However, that is where I found this awesome case. It's on the bulky side admittedly, although you will see that it is able to fit absolutely everything you would ever need within reach of you on the plane. When I do my one-night travels, I'll take my luggage backpack that fits underneath the seat, as I hate waiting to grab my stuff and I don't really need the extra storage. As such, I would always just have my backpack within reach of me. But if you were to travel with extra baggage, this case would be perfect for that personal item that you're allowed to have on you under your seat, or under the seat in front of you rather. I was able to fit absolutely everything related to this video inside of it, and inside of it consisted of my INIU or INIU, I'm not sure if that's how you say it. They provided me their 65-watt battery bank that also does provide the 30-watt turbo mode. I received an HDMI cable from UGREEN, my favorite slim dock from CableCreation, that is the 8K 60 or 4K 120 dock. That is also the 100-watt charger from UGREEN and the ASUS ROG Ally as well. And that's all the items that were fit in the case on the bottom half, not including the top part where there's a mesh little zippered pouch. Inside that zippered pouch, I fit my over-ear headphones, Razer Opus noise-canceling headphones, an ANBERNIC RG505, and a GameSir T4 mini controller, and a Pixel 6 phone. The only thing I did not put in this bag was the 145-watt UGREEN power bank. That I kept in my backpack with my laptop, as that required the higher 100-watt max output versus the max 65-watt on the INIU bank. If you're looking for a sturdy case that is carry-on friendly, you can't go wrong with this one. It will definitely protect your handhelds, and note, it is listed as being a Steam Deck case, but I noticed no real kind of compatibility issues with the ROG Ally. I suspect other handhelds would have no problems either. It is on the bulkier side, yes, but it's a perfect carry-on, I would say. Now, the next section of the video, I'm going to focus on each item and detail how it was useful on my trip, kind of like start to finish. I'll just give you kind of how my trip went and what I used technology-wise. So starting on my departure from Toronto, after getting a healthy amount of morning beers in me at 5 a.m., I stumbled my way to the plane. Now, I left early in the morning, so all my devices were fully charged and I didn't require any top-ups or anything like that at the airport. Getting on the plane went without issue, and at this point, once everyone was settled in and the doors were secured, I retrieved my case from my backpack. During the takeoff and landing, I typically will just listen to some music on my phone with my noise-canceling headphones. This will take care of babies crying or kids screaming from the takeoff sensations. Note, over-ear headphones will have a much better experience for active noise canceling versus in-ear buds, most of the time. Now, once the seatbelt light turns off, once we're up in the air, I decide to turn off my music and then figure out what I'm going to do for the rest of the flight to Edmonton. Note that the flight was just over 4 hours. To kick things off, I wanted to watch the latest Grand Tour episode on my phone. Not pictured here, however, on the INIU power bank that I was using, it has a pull-out little cradle to rest your phone in while charging your device. Now, even if you don't need to charge your phone right at that moment, this little kickstand function can come in super handy on flights. No more needing to hold your phone or trying to rest it up on the seat in front of you, and then just having it kind of fall over on your feet or in between the seats or whatever. This is the main reason why that the INIU power bank was my go-to power bank on this flight. Not to say that the UGREEN power bank is bad or anything like that, just that the INIU bank was more functional in this environment. Both power banks have the same capacity at 25,000 milliamp hours, so expected life should be the same when using a like-for-like scenario device at or below 65 watts. Now, after I finished watching my show, I decided it was time to break out the Ally. The show lasted about an hour and a half, and by the time I took out the Ally, we still had, just under 3 hours to go or so, something like that. So, one key thing that I learned with my Ally was if you haven't launched a game on Steam before, you will need to be connected to the internet. This meant that I couldn't play Doom Eternal like I had wanted to. I had also specifically bought Call of Duty World at War for this flight on Steam because it was on sale, and it's a good campaign, I think. However, the control inputs just would not work on the Ally. I had aimed to play this game because I figured I could get good battery life with it and getting probably like 60 FPS on it, running probably at or below 15 watts. And then after fiddling for about 15 minutes or so, my battery was down to about 87% when it started off at like 98, 99%. So I finally decided on playing the Resident Evil 4 remake because I know that I played it on the Ally before. And the game launched without any issues, and at 17 watt TDP, I was able to play for just under 2 hours or so. Maybe an hour and 45. When the battery had depleted on the Ally, I decided I was done playing it on that flight. So I didn't bother using a battery bank to charge it or anything. So I just put it back in the case, and that was it. Now, once I was at the hotel I was staying at, my first order of business was to remove the HDMI cable from the back of the main TV and change it over to my CableCreation dock. I was then able to hook this up to the Ally or to my laptop to finally play some Doom Eternal. The other side of this is that you can also use your Ally to watch YouTube, Netflix, Disney, or whatever you want, instead of being limited to whatever is airing that day on TV. This slim dock is perfect for travel in my opinion. If you have a case like mine on the Ally with a built-in kickstand, you won't need to worry about propping it up or whatever when the device is docked, or you could just lay down the Ally flat and plug it in that way. Now, connecting the dock to the TV was done through the UGREEN HDMI cable that they had sent over. It was the perfect length, but any HDMI cable would do. And you may also notice the covers on the sticks of my Ally and my GameSir controller. Now, these I purchased from LTT. They are their STICKLOCKS. So these things are an absolute must for me for protecting my controllers in my bag. Before I got these, I would try to dedicate like a certain space or area in my bag for my controller just to relieve pressure and stuff being applied to the joysticks. However, the sticks would always get pushed and pressed. With these, I can just throw it in my bag and honestly not worry at all about them. And then finally, powering everything was my 100 watt UGREEN NEXODE charger. This charger was able to power my computer, Ally, phone, and charge one of the battery banks at a time or controller. Now, I was originally going to bring a smaller 65 watt charger, however, after looking at the size of the 100 watt, it barely took up any more space than a 65 watt with a lot more functionality. Here you can see that my computer charger versus the UGREEN charger. Note that the computer charger is a 240 watt charger, however, it only has one barrel adapter, so as opposed to the 3 USB-C and 1 USB-A on the NEXODE charger. And my computer can accept USB-C charging, so realistically I very easily could have left the bulky charger at home if I didn't want full power. Charging the battery banks were simple and happened relatively quickly. Just keep in mind it will be dependent on your input charging speed. Now, getting into devices brought, I will be honest, I didn't touch my ANBERNIC at all. I thought I may have on the plane, but it only got powered on for video shots. Now, I obviously also brought my computer and ROG Ally. The ROG Ally itself is a great travel companion. I would have enjoyed a smaller device like the INIU Air 1S, I think, at times, with the 5.5-inch screen, mainly for like comfort and not having to like kind of spread your arms out as far. However, when using the ROG Ally and resting my arms on the seat tray, it was quite comfortable, so take it for what you will. My day was pretty busy, so I didn't get too much gaming in, except for the night that I arrived and on the plane. Now, at the airport, before heading back home, I was able to use my computer and phone at the lounge, and then charge them up using the UGREEN battery bank that they provided. The lounge had no outlets at the seats, and none along the wall or anything like that. So this was a perfect way to keep my bigger electronics powered and charged. It did supply the super fast charge as well to my Samsung phone. Now, on the plane ride back, it was listed at I think like 3 hours and 47 minutes or something like that. So I did my usual music routine, except this time as soon as the seatbelt lights turned off, after about 20 minutes or so, I took out my ROG Ally and immediately started playing Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Initially, I started playing at 17 watt TDP, and the battery ran down to just over 20% after about an hour and 20 minutes or so. At this point, I plugged in my INIU power bank, and initially I was playing at 17 watts still. However, after about 5 minutes, I decided to just crank it up to 25 watts. Even though the power bank is rated and will supply 30 watt turbo mode, I just wanted to see how long it would kind of last. So by the time the battery bank died, it had brought the Ally back up to 97%, and I still had just 1 hour and a half or so, hour and a half, hour 45, something like that in my flight. So I was playing the whole time it was charging, and then I continued to play on even like as we were kind of beginning the landing approach. Now, by the end of my flight, I still had over 50% left on the ROG Ally. Now, keeping in mind when I went off power, I did also turn it to 20 watts instead of 17 watts. If I were to estimate my total playtime, it would likely be about 3 hours and 20 minutes or something like that. Again, keeping in mind my non-kind of power conservative TDP levels, especially near the end there. Once I landed, that essentially kind of concluded the point of this video, and after going through a flight with a handheld for the first time, I can say it was an absolute blast. I usually hate flying, but this was honestly a nice opportunity to just play some games uninterrupted. One of the key things you will have to do for yourself is plan ahead. Other than planning out your trip and whatever your trip is related to, plan out your time on the plane and at the airport, especially on a longer flight. If you are bringing something like the ROG Ally, make sure you bring a battery bank or two, or ensure you're going to play only low-power games. You cannot always rely on the outlets on the plane working or even supplying the full amount of power. I always go into my flight assuming my screen won't work on the TV in front of me or whatever, or it just doesn't exist and there are no charging ports or they don't work either. This also has its advantage if you are looking to look like a hero. If you have extra accessories and stuff, you can win over your seat buddy by offering them a power bank or extra pair of headphones, charger, something like that. This will typically allow me to subconsciously get the armrest from them, even though I'm on the aisle seat and common courtesy would dictate that they would get the armrest. People have even offered me like their extra snacks and food and drinks and stuff like that because of it. If anything, you're at least helping a fellow human out, so there's that too, I guess. Whether you're the type of person to sleep, read, watch movies, or play games on a plane, always plan ahead and plan for the unexpected. Ensure you have ample ways to charge your devices. Ensure you have every single type of cord you could possibly need. If you're traveling abroad, make sure you check out their outlet style and grab an adapter before you go. To my knowledge, UGREEN is a worldwide company, so finding devices from them to power your devices should not be an issue, and I think they have adapters and things like that. I'm not saying that you must buy these brands and these specific accessories or whatever, but what I am asking is for you to at least check out other options, compare them against these, and then whatever works best in your country financially and whatever's available, pull the trigger. Just use this video as kind of like an idea of like kind of planning out your next travel. I feel my travel kit honestly has absolutely everything you could possibly want or need for a modern day kind of portable electronics aspect. If you have any thoughts or additions to the list or any airport tips and tricks that you have to share, please share them below in the comments. Always double check your airline guidelines for battery banks and things of that nature and ensure that you're not over the capacity limits. As always, I would like to shout out my channel members, Joey VR, Rico1217, Amoa, Darkstar, Roy Watney or Roy Wayne I believe it is, and Root Access. You people are truly awesome, and I appreciate everything you provide to the channel. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video and offer your feedback. As always, I hope you all have a great day.